everyone. Hello, hello, hello. All right, let's see who is in the house today. I'm excited today because on today's stream, I'm actually going to show you all how I read someone's birth/born chart. Okay. You're going to actually witness how I take someone's chart. So let's just say I was reading your chart, right? So you're going to actually see me go through the process on how I learn who you are, how I learn your strengths, your weaknesses. Now, let me just say this. I'm not going to pry too deep because I can really get nosy. Okay. I can really get nosy, but we're not going to do it today because today I'm just going to show you the steps that I go through when I'm trying to figure out who someone is. All right. So today we have a birth chart and I'm going to go through it. And that's all we're going to do today because trust me, it's going to be enough. Now, if you want me to do your birth chart, the day that you were born, your born chart. I don't really like to say birth because that's a de facto term, all right? But the day that you were born, there was a blueprint in the sky just for you. Isn't that beautiful? There was a blueprint in the sky at the very nanosecond that you were born just for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that snapshot of that nanosecond and we're going to bring it down from the heavens into the earth realm. And we're going to tell you who you are. So if you want yours done, I had actually decreased the price I generally used to do them for $75 an hour, but now I've dropped it to $50. So it could go anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. It depends on how much stuff I'm seeing. All right. So if you want yours done, just go to my link bio and I'll do yours. All right. So this is how this is going to go. Today I'm going to read Miss Deborah's chart. Thank you, Miss Deborah, for being so transparent to allow me to do this for the world today. Because it's going to be for the world now, okay? And I am deciding if I'm going to do this again for someone else live. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this again live for someone else. I might have to kind of bring it on the background because I'm not done teaching. There is so much in these lessons and this birth chart lessons that I need to bring forth and teach. And so I'm just not going to have time to come on here every Tuesday and read birth charts, okay? Because it's going to take up the time that I need to teach. But today, I'm going to do it. All right, so let me see what the comments are. Let's put the comments on the stage. Okay, hi, peace and love to you. There she is, the woman of the hour. So, Miss Deborah, I'm going to actually drop the link. So if you want to come on live while I'm reading your chart, you can. So let me see if I can invite you and just Miss Deborah. So if you're in our chat, not today. I just want Miss Deborah, if she wants to come live with me so I can kind of ask her questions. So if you're transparent to do that, then it'll kind of let me know if I'm in the right area, if what I'm seeing is something that you see occurring in your life or has occurred in your life. All right. So I've dropped the link for Miss Deborah. So just click it if you want to come on live. And if you don't, I understand. You can talk to us via chat. All right. Because this is going to be exciting. All right. Good afternoon. Hi, Miss Sharon. Yes, that is amazing. Okay, she's saying yay. It's okay. Okay. All right, there's the link. Let's get that off of there. Good afternoon again, Miss Sharon. All right, okay. And I think I did this one. Yes. Hey, Shanice, I think I did yours earlier. All right. Okay. Well, you ready? Okay. Let's go. My messages keep disappearing. Oh, you're there. You're in the house. You're in the house. You're in the house. All right, let's see who else is there. Hi, Miss N Moss. How are you? All right, we have mostly all of our hellos. If you're ready, first of all, give a thumbs up to the live. Everybody go over there and give a thumbs up to the live and hit the little bell, right? Beautiful things happen when you hit that little bell, right? When you hit that little bell, every time I go live, you will receive a notification. So hit the bell so you'll get that notification when I go live, and give a live to the give a thumbs up to the live so it will get out there a little bit more to bring more people into the house. All right. Okay. All right. I'm excited about this. Y'all are about to see me in my element. A lot of people, they have not seen me actually do readings for people. This is a part of my life I really have not shared. And I've been doing this for many years, like many, many years. I could actually, let me tell you how serious this is for me. If you gave me rocks, and I'm talking about just rocks, just go outside and pick up rocks, right? And in my mind, I attach the energies to that rock. And I just literally just throw the rocks towards you. And I can tell you what the rocks mean on how they land around you. That's just how serious this is. This gift that I have been given, it actually came from my mother. Okay. My mother was and still is extremely clairvoyant. This is the truth. This happened about maybe 3 months ago, and I think I mentioned it to you all. We were in the car riding, and I heard my mother's question in my head, and I verbally said the answer outward. And she looked at me and she was startled. She said, "I just asked you that in my head." And I said, "Mom, listen, it's no need of freaking out. You already know we got this thing. Okay? We got this thing." So I don't get shocked anymore. And I was shocked that she was shocked that I heard her question in my head and I answered it verbally. So listen, it's a beautiful gift. And the one thing I love about this is that we all have it. Hey, Felita, how are you? We all have this gift. You just got to really tap into the energy, and you have to believe that you can. I am at work, so I may not be able to go live, but I will communicate through chat. No problem. No problem whatsoever. Hi, Jamie Johnson. How are you? So am I. I love it. Okay. Oh, yes, I know that you are. Oh, yeah. I've seen some stuff in that chart. Okay. So, what you all are about to see is me actually do this live. This will be my first time ever doing this live. Okay, on the YouTube with my face showing and you being able to see me literally go into this space. Okay, all right, let's get going. No more delays. Again, if you're just coming in, please, 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 please give us a thumbs up. And again, what you're watching is what I will be able to do for you. Okay, we all need to know who we are. And if you don't know who you are, how are you living? How are you living? Just explain that to me. How are you living? Because you have to be able to know who you are so you can know how to navigate through life. All right. So, what we have before us, and I'm going to make it a little larger. So, give me a second. Let me go over here. Let's do some adjustments. Okay. I'm going to start here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, well, no, I'm going to have to do it a little smaller so you guys can see. No, I'm going to do it a little larger. Let me see. Let's go there. Okay. All right. So let me come back over here to make sure. Okay, let's start there. Okay. All right. What we have before us is Miss Deborah's chart. And I'm going to make it just a little so we can go there. Give me a second, you guys. Let me adjust this correctly. Because if I don't adjust this correctly, you're not going to be able to see everything. Okay, I'm going to have to do it. Is that going to be good enough? I think that's going to be the best I'm going to be able to get it. All right, let me come back and share again. Give me a second. Because all right, let's go here. All right. So what I was in was actually astro.com. Okay. I was in astro.com, and with astro.com, it actually will give you this birth chart. It'll give you notes around it, so on and so forth. But what I'm going to do is we're going to actually dive deep into what this chart says. Okay. All right. So Ms. Deborah says she's ready. All right. So what's kind of beautiful, first of all, is that Miss Deborah's sun sign. Okay. And if you'll look down in the first house, this is the first thing that I identified with her. The sun represents your sun sign. Okay. We know that you're three signs: sun, moon, and rising. The rising is the most important, but I'm going to talk about that last. Okay. I'm going to talk about that last. Let's start with the sun. The sun illuminates. All right. The sun, it shines upon so all can see. The sun, when it shines on you, it shows your identity to the world, who you are. Okay, are we understanding that? We got to get that point very, very clear. So your sun can be in any one of those houses. So go back and check if you have not checked when I broke down the different houses, okay? Your sun can fall into any house: first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. And we know that each house represents a certain type of energy. All right. And each sign represents a certain type of energy. So we have to make sure we understand that. So when I looked at Miss Deborah's sun sign, okay, her sun is in Taurus. First of all, fist bumps, because mine's a Taurus too. But hers is in the first house. The sun is exalted in the first house because it is the house of self-identity, of who I am. So the sun feels at home there. So by her sun being in the first house, which represents everything about her, everything about her identity, everything about who she is, okay? And this doesn't matter on who the world sees, because what's illuminating more is what she feels about herself, and the world gets the opportunity to look in on that. Okay, this is very, very important. So I can tell you right off, and Ms. Deborah, just give us a thumbs up or emoji face if I'm on point with what I'm saying. You could care less what people feel about you, because you put all of your energy in you. So I would guess that you are the type of person that probably dresses nice, that makeup is on point. Your house is probably spotless. And if you're in a house that has chaos in it, stuff that is junky or nasty, it does something to your whole internal. Give us a thumbs up if I'm on point, Miss Deborah. Or an emoji face, because this is what your chart is saying to me. Okay, so we're going to give her a chance to respond, to see. I wish I could have brought her live so she could. Okay, thumbs up. So we're in that space. All right. So again, the sun represents her personality, who she is. Okay. The sun represents her ego, right? The sun represents the direction that her life is going in. This is what this is telling me. All right, let's see what she's saying. She's putting some comments down. She's saying, that is so crazy. This is exactly who I am. All right, 2 thumbs up there. Okay. So, this is some things that I'm saying about where that sun is positioned in Taurus and who she is. I could guess that she's very, very strong-willed, and I know that because I'm a Sun Taurus, and they try to label us as being stubborn, and you could say that, but to me that's such a negative, because stubborn could also mean that no, I'm just grounded in what I know to be true. That you can't come in and just tell me something. I'm just going to bend on what you're telling me. Okay. So some people will view that as saying, oh, she's being stubborn. No, maybe I'm just grounded. Maybe I'm persistent and determined, which I'm thinking that she is, right? Because that groundedness is very, very, very important, right? Also, by it being in the house of Taurus, and I know this too, Taurus caters to all 5 senses. So we're always comfort seeking, things that make us feel good, things that, how I look at things. I have to have a pleasantness on what I'm looking at. The music that I listen to has to bring me comfort. The things that I smell has to bring me comfort. Oh, don't put me in a space where something is not smelling good. I can't even exist in that space. It goes all over me. Okay. How I'm touched, how I'm hugged, that makes a difference to me. Right. And even the foods that I eat. Y'all know, if you look at my social media, you know I love to eat. Okay. That excites me when we go to a new restaurant. Yes, ma'am. No means no to me. Okay. So that means that strong will, very determined. There it is. Okay. But this is also a down, what I'm saying with this placement, and by it being in our first house and being in the sign of Taurus, that she's very resistant to change. You can't come and change things with her, right? Instantly, because she has to have a transition period. So if you're talking about we're going to do this at the last minute, or somebody's coming and rearranging her furniture, or she has her wardrobe a certain way and had her hat a certain way, and somebody comes and change her hat, instant anger. I can guarantee that. Instant anger. Don't mess with anything that is attached to her identity. Don't mess with it, because you're going to immediately see a whole different Deborah. I can guarantee that. Okay. So also don't forget that Taurus is fixed. So again, that goes with that rigidness, okay, that unwavering, that space of not wanting that change. I'm needing a transition to change. Okay, that's very, very, very important. All right, let's see what she's saying. She says, very true. I don't like change at all. Okay, there's a thumbs up. Okay. All right. So, and the last thing I'm going to say about this part is that with Sun and Taurus and in that first house, that's why you need to know the time you were born. If you don't know the time that you were born, you won't know where these houses are, because you got to understand where this is playing out. Okay. So with this part right here, that Sun being in the first house, that's a dominant personality. Okay. I'm just telling you right now. Okay. This is someone, when they walk in a room, so there's a room of people there. When Deborah walks in the room, all eyes is on her, and she begins to control the room. She controls the room, and she might not even have to say anything. It's just her presence. Those that are in there, they're going to lean towards or gravitate to or speak to or move towards where she is. Okay, simply because that's the energy that she carries. They know that she's very dominant in her personality. She's very self-assured, and people gravitate to that type of energy. All right, so that's if I'm doing a reading, I'm going to look at the sun sign and kind of see where that sun is hanging out. So we've kind of massaged that a lot. Okay. So now let me move to what I would move to next if I'm reading your chart, which would be the moon. Now, honey, hunty, hunty. Okay. Now her moon is something serious. Her moon is something serious. Okay. Because this moon, first of all, is a Capricorn moon and it's in the 10th house. So remember, I told you the sun is exalted. It loves being in the first house of identity, that it feels comfortable there. And for those that don't understand what I'm saying when I mean this, let me give you an example of an analogy so you can see if a sign feels comfortable. I mean, a planet feels comfortable in a sign or a house. Let me tell you what this is like. So we all know football, right? We all know football. So you know how sometimes during football season when they release the schedule, and the first thing we do is we go and we look to see where the home games are, and then we also look to see where the away games are. So if you're a football player, aren't you going to feel more comfortable at on your home field playing? Okay? Give a thumbs up if you understand that. If you are a football player, wouldn't you do your very best on the field that you practice, that you are used to, that you know what the layout is of the whole stadium, you know what the turf feels like, you're at home there. So I'm going to perform my best there, right? As opposed to being away. Well, that's what it's like with the planets, okay? That's what it's like. I understand in the Go Browns, okay. So the planets have different houses and different signs that they feel at home in, that they like being in. All right. So not only does Miss Deborah have her son in the house and the sign that it likes being in, her moon is the same way. Her moon is in Capricorn. Okay. Okay. Now let me talk about this. Capricorn is a very controlled space, and it's very reserved. Okay. Now, well, I don't want to say that the moon likes being in Capricorn because, and let me retract that, because the moon is water. Water is fluid. Okay. Water moves. Water has motion. Capricorn is fixed. It's very fixed. It's not movable. Okay. And so with her moon sign, she probably can come off rigid, but what is in alignment here is her moon is in Capricorn and it's in the 10th house. So that right there is a commonality of her experiences. In addition to that, Saturn, if I'm not mistaken, is hitting right in that space too. But we're not going to talk now. I don't want to jump around. Let me just deal with the moon right now. The moon being in Capricorn in the 10th house, the Capricorn is the 10th house. The 10th house has the characteristics of Capricorn. So that part right there is total alignment. Okay. It's like total, it's like it's a perfect match. So now when we begin to look at her emotions in this house, because again, the moon represents your emotions. The moon represents uh, your relationship with your mother. So in this space now, we can bring forth what that relationship is probably like with her mom. By it being here, this is behavior that comes from instinct. So that means that she may not kind of think about the things that she's going to do. She moves more on how she feels. That guard that guides her movements. Okay, she doesn't think, she goes on how she feels about a certain things, and that's what directs her movements. um Looking at this moon in this space again, um, that mother space, she was probably conditioned to be very, very, very structured. So I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to assume that her mother ran a tight ship. The house, her room had to be neat. Clothes had to be in order. When they went out, they had to be presentable. Okay. Deborah, give me a thumbs up or give a statement on if that is correct from what I'm seeing in your chart with the mother relationship. Very structured upbringing, very disciplined upbringing. Okay. Possibly you might have been emotionally reserved. That means that you were taught not to show emotion so much, right? To control your emotions on things. Let me give her a second to type. And while she's typing, you guys, how's everybody doing? Give a thumbs up if you're coming in here for the first time. All right, let's see what she's saying. She says, yes, ma'am, she did indeed. Okay, we're still on point. All right. All right. Okay, so now let's go back here again and let's look from this. So again, it's a strong need for respect, a very, very strong need to be respected, and don't disrespect. Okay, that is a no-no when it comes to Miss Deborah. Don't even be blatant with it or try to be sly with your disrespect because she's going to catch it. My mother did not play going out half dressed. We never wore. Oh my gosh! So there it is, right there, you guys. She never even wore jeans growing up. That's what that mother looks like. That moon that represents your mother in Capricorn sign and in the Capricorn house. This is how it plays out in life for what she's saying right there. My mother did not play going out half dressed. We never wore jeans. They didn't even wear jeans growing up. And what you're saying is spot on. Okay. So let's keep going. All right. So now we got that again, that moon in that 10th house in Capricorn. Values, discipline. We kind of talked about that already. We talked about structure and responsibility. She probably was responsible for a lot. Now let me look now at her house of siblings, which would be the third house. Well, everything is kind of like a line. So um, that is the third house. Okay, I don't see anything that kind of is jumping out at me. Well, let me look over at the fifth house. Okay, she has the Uranus in the fifth house. So I'm not really kind of picking up. So, Miss Deborah, you're gonna have to tell me this. How many siblings do you have? And where do you rank as far as your siblings? Or you could be an only child with that sun in the first house. You might be an only child or no more than maybe one or two siblings. But I could be wrong because I'm just picking up on what I'm seeing with this, but I don't see a lot of siblings and you could be an only child. So confirm that for me so I can see where we are with that as far as your siblings are concerned. Because this is going to play out too again with the home because the moon which represents Cancer, it's Cancer's ruler and Cancer is the fourth house that represents home. Okay. So now what I'm leaning into is her home life coming out through the characteristics of the sign Capricorn in the 10th house, which is also Capricorn. So we're going to see that double energy. We're going to see that very strong energy there. So let me wait until she pipes in to let us know what's going on with the siblings. Okay. I have two natural sisters and one adopted sister. I am the middle child. Okay. So there's that two I was looking at, but she also has an adopted sister as well, and she's in the middle. Okay. All right. So small family, all girls. Oh, God bless your mama. Okay. So I got to stop here because there's those 4 girls, and I have 4 girls, so I already know how that went down. I already know how that went down. Mama didn't play, okay? Mama kept them girls in order, on point. Okay, Mama did not play. All right. All right, so I think we've kind of massaged that enough with well, let me just talk about the siblings of what I'm seeing right now. So by her third house being in Gemini, again, those characteristics, they were very, very well educated. Um, they all of them knew how to communicate very, very well. Some of them might have been good writers. One might be an author, or some an author in that family, or a public speaker, okay, or a platform of public speaking, because we're seeing very, very strong communication with this family. All right. And then if we look at the 5th house, which is in Leo, someone could have been in theater as well. So someone could have a life of being an actor, actress, doing plays, being participating in plays when you all grew up. Okay, but some type of public recognition is going on in this family. So, Miss Deborah, please type and let us know, is it you or somebody in your family that is on a public stage? Somebody's on a public stage. Clearly, it could be your mommy. I don't know. But somebody definitely is public here. All right, she says that. I thought, yes, but Mama did not play because my father died at 34. Oh, from a car accident. So we did not get to do anything. Okay, so that's the structure and the discipline. Now, let me talk about this right here that she put up. I could have actually pinpointed this in her chart for her as well. It's called a progressive moon. And so I could literally pinpoint where you have serious life changes that gives an impact in your life, that causes complete transformation. I can identify that where literally life is it's impactful, but it's impactful in a way that it's gut wrenching. So I've been able to pinpoint that in people's charts where they've gotten divorces, where certain deaths have occurred, and death can also be divorces because that's considered that's considered a death. Okay, sicknesses. I can kind of pinpoint that. But I can also pinpoint where it changes and you begin to come out of that space. So if I was doing a one-on-one with her, I would definitely do a progressive moon reading as well. Very, very true. I have my doctor. Okay. And all my sisters have degrees. There it is. Adopted sister is a public stage. She is the poster child of, oh my goodness, of the Heart Associate. Wow. Now, y'all know that's huge. But her chart says it. Her chart says it. All her sisters have degrees. And her adopted sister is the public stage. She is the poster child for the Heart Association. Wow. Y'all know that's huge there. But her chart says it. Her chart says it. All right. So now I think we've kind of massaged the moon. All right. So after I've done the sun, right? And then I've done your moon. Now we go to the most important part of the chart. Okay. We go to the most important part of the chart, which is the rising sign. This is why you must know the time that you were born. How do you get through life not knowing who you are? You will see her when you go into Charleston, South Carolina. Wow. Okay. There's that public stage. So in Miss Deborah's chart, she says she's on a billboard. Okay, there it is. That's what it looks like. So that means thousands of people on a daily basis are watching your sister. Okay, so her rising sign, all right? Her rising sign is in Aries. So what does this mean? A lot of people still don't understand what this rising means, right? So where the sun was rising in the sky, that is what we call the ascendant. It is ascending, right? It's ascending. So wherever sign and house is always going to be the first house. And that's how the houses become aligned. Okay, that's how your houses become aligned, because wherever the sun is rising, that now is the first house. So if you'll look at her chart, her rising is in the sign of Aries. So let me just pause there, because right now, y'all already know the carrying on that is going on in the sign of Aries. I have talked about it week after week after week. Saturn and Neptune are hanging out in that sign as we speak. They came in at the 0 degrees, right? So I already know that when that solar eclipse happened on February 17th, Miss Deborah, you had a shakeup like none other. I don't even have to ask you. I know you did. And then February 20th, where Saturn and Neptune conjunct at that 0 degree, you had something else take place. And then now you are recovering from whatever that shakeup happened during that time period with that solar eclipse, that Saturn, that Neptune coming into Aries. Whatever happened in your life, it shook you to your core. Laugh out, let's go, Dr. Shea. I'm super excited. Now, we're not going to talk about what the shakeup was, because it might be very, very personal for you. Okay. But I know something, whatever wasn't serving your highest good, it was pushed out during that time. Okay. And she said, I did indeed. All right. So we know this just from the movements in the sky. Now, and your Aries rising. So again, everything is about your personal life. Okay, everything is about what's happening to you, to your identity, because Aries represents that. Aries represents me. And let me just say this too about this Aries sign, because sometimes Aries get a bad rap. And I am going to apologize to those that are Aries, because even me, I have come on here and I have not talked too kindly about Aries, because a lot of Aries I don't get along with. I'm just telling you, I don't. But I had to learn why. And I had to learn that when people are Aries, okay, there are different levels of each sign. There are high vibrational, there are mid vibrational, and there are low vibrational. So with Aries being a sign of action, right? Just doing. Aries is the type, and this is the type of Aries I don't get along with. They just do, and then they worry about what happens later. No, I don't get along with them type of Aries. I need the Aries who are kind of going to think through what they're going to do before they do it. But Aries is a sign of action. They just do. And they have to learn, they have to be taught to ground themselves. And that's why her sun is grounding her, because I'm telling you, this is a perfect mixture here. And do you all notice that she is double earth with a hint of fire in that rising? So she is. So what happens when you have earth and fire? That's a volcano. So that means that when she gets angry, where's her Mars at? Where's her Mars? Oh no, she's calm when she gets angry, because her Mars is in the Cancer. So you're calm. You're that kind that you have a calm anger, and it builds, and then when they push that right button, then you explode. But you're very calm, and you try to talk through your anger. Am I right when I say that, Miss Deborah? The shakeup was definitely during that time. Yeah. How are you with your anger though? Are you calm through it? Wow. Okay. I guess you're calm through it. Yeah. Because you have a calming anger, but you will explode if you're pushed. Okay. That's that Aries coming out in that Taurus. Okay. So with this ascendant being here, her rising, again, this is her ego. Okay. This is how people look at you, which have first impressions of you. Okay. Which again, about self. Okay. We already talked about the physical presence. We already talked about that. Very calm when I'm angry. Yeah. We see it. We see it. Very calm. You're probably the one in your family that calms everybody down. You're probably the one that says, "Okay, okay, okay, let's everybody, let's talk through this. It's not that serious." Are you that one in your family that calms everybody, that brings them to a space of reason to remember that we are family first? Okay, and we're going to get through this. I can kind of see you saying this to your sisters, like in a room, like, "Okay, y'all. All right, we're gonna move out fairly." Okay. Let's see what she says. I'm always telling them to no push, don't push into a corner. I will come out fight. Don't push you in a corner, you'll come out fight. Yeah, yeah, don't corner you. Don't corner you. If they will allow you, we'll talk it through. If they will allow you, you will be the type I'm seeing that will talk it through. Yes, ma'am, my man. Okay, so she's the calming one in the family. Yeah. That's a good place for that Mars to be in Cancer. Y'all want to hear something funny? My Venus is Aries. We're going to talk about that on another live, okay? So everything I just told you about what I don't like and the trouble I have with Aries, that's an area that I had to tame myself. Okay, but we'll talk about that at another time. All right, so people that have this Aries placement, this Aries rising, again, we're talking about being possibly very direct when she speaks. All right. You're not going to not know where she's coming from. You're going to know she's going to explain it very well. And she's going to explain it to a space of she's going to be bold with it, but she's going to be calming in her presentation. You're going to know where she's coming from. Okay. It's not going to be any question whatsoever. She's going to explain it very, very well. And she's going to be calm when she explains it. Now, this is another thing that I'm saying too, that you may have a competitive spirit. Are you competitive? Okay, let's wait for her to pop in with this. Let's see if she pops in. Are you a little competitive? Or when y'all were growing up with your sisters, that you wanted to be the one that did it better? Okay. Let's see what she says when she pipes in here. Having a strong desire to win that race, win that. Were you in pageants? Were you in pageants or something with competition? Or maybe you went out for dance team, majorette squad, or something going in school, competitiveness. Some type of competitiveness here. Exactly. I'll explain to you point blank. I let them know the bluff bottom line up front. Okay, answer my question about school. Were you in something where you had to compete? Yes, ma'am. I'm a lot competitive. Okay, there it is then. All right. So anything like pageants, track, sports, drill team, majorettes, something where competition came forth, that you would like literally live that out. I'm just curious. I just want to see what she's going to say on that one. I ran for homecoming. Okay, so there it is. That's that pageant. I saw you with the pageant thing. I don't know. I was feeling that pageant, that space right there with yeah. Yeah, I actually saw that. So there, that you were the queen. That you were the homecoming queen. Now I'm about to shut this computer. I'm scaring myself now. She was the y'all. This is how it goes with me, though. I'm trying to tell you right now. This is how it goes with me. It just goes. It just starts going. It just starts flowing. Wow. Okay. Now, let me just say this, Miss Deborah. If you want me to do a private one with you, I can. Okay. Where we can go deeper because some stuff I'm not going to say on here. We're just going to do surface stuff, but we can go deep. We can go deep now. We can go into relationships and the synastry with that. I can go into the relationships with you and your siblings, your parents, your projection on where you should be. Are you aligned? I mean, we can handle kind of all that. Yes, ma'am, I was the queen. Wow, that is crazy right there. Even I'm shocked. Even I'm shocked that I was able to pull that out, but I see it. I definitely see it. Wow. Okay. So we know that you have a very outward personality, and that's that public, that's that Capricorn, that moon and that Capricorn 10th house. That's what that looks like. You had the public stage for sure. Okay. All right. You can schedule a private with me. All right. So the last thing I'm going to get into with this, because after I massage all of that, if I'm doing a reading for you, I would actually look at the lot of fortune. And that's that space where your sun, your moon, and your rising, that one little point that they all align with. And that tells me a lot about, again, the fortune in your life. If I'm doing a reading, I would look at the Lilith. Okay, the Lilith is another area, and we talked about the Lilith, I think, a little bit, but the Lilith represents, it's the story that states that before Eve there was Lilith. Okay, and Lilith was everything that Eve was not. So we know Eve comes forth and she's very submissive, right? Lilith was not submissive. Lilith took control. Lilith did what she wanted to do. Lilith rebelled. So we all have Lilith in our chart on where that rebellion piece is going to come in. All right. And there's also something called aspects. We talked about aspects. And so if I'm reading your chart, the first thing I am going to go to is going to be your most challenging aspects. And so I'll talk about one of Miss Deborah's most challenging aspects that we see right now on her chart. And so conjunctions can sometimes be challenging, as we just saw with Saturn and Neptune conjuncting at 0 degrees, and what that did, that shakeup that it did to all of us. Okay, so conjunctions can sometimes be challenging, but it's transformative. Now, what I try to hone in on are those squares, okay? Those squares and those oppositions, because that is where we have major impact in our lives, okay? That's where we kind of see where there is going to be some things that we got to really deal with, all right? And so when we look at Miss Deborah's chart, one of the most difficult aspects that I see in your chart right now is that that Mars, which is in the 4th house, representing home, in the sign of Cancer, representing home, mother, and that opposing. So it oppose means it's directly across from. So it's in opposition to your Saturn. Okay. And what's making this so tight, and we say tight, is because look at the positioning of Mars in that 4th house, and look at the positioning of Saturn in the 10th house. Okay. Both of them are coming in at that 0 degree again. So when it comes in at that 0 degree, it is tight. We call that tight. There's no movement. That means that it's getting the full impact of that personality pattern, the full impact. And so that can cause some serious core conflict there. Okay. Because Mars, who's the ruler of Aries, okay, and Saturn, who is the ruler of Capricorn, okay, Mars is action, Mars is anger, Mars is your drive. Mars can represent your sexual drive as well. All right. And then we have Saturn that represents structure, it represents discipline, it represents restriction of what you cannot do, it represents authority, it represents fear. So we got those two opposing each other. Okay. And it's at 0 degrees, which is extremely tight. Extremely tight. So what does this create? What atmosphere does this create? Okay. This is someone who possibly has felt blocked in their life. Okay. Felt like that they weren't heard in their life. Okay. Frustrated internally, because remember now that Mars is in that 4th house of her calm anger, right? Feel like possibly that her voice was not heard. Okay. And also having difficulty even expressing that I'm angry, I'm mad. So I'm going to go in my room. I'm going to shut myself away from everybody. I am not going to talk. This is what passive aggressiveness looks like. I can bet you right now, and I hope I'm not wrong, but I'm going to go with how I'm feeling, that when Deborah got angry, she could not speak to you for 10 years if she didn't want to, and she could be okay. If you made her angry, and she did not want to deal with you anymore, she simply just stopped talking to you. No texts, no phone calls. You're standing right in front of me and you do not exist. Let me give her a chance to speak to that. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, ma'am. That is definitely me. All right. So we're nailing it on the head. We're nailing it on the head. So that aspect is dangerous though, Miss Deborah. This is your most challenging aspect in your chart. You didn't handle this well as a child and possibly not even an adult, right? Because you suppressed anger. You suppressed when you were mad. And you would go from one end of the spectrum to another. You would suppress, you would explode. That's that volcano. That's that earth and that fire volcano. Okay? There's no middle. I'm quiet, I'm quiet, I'm quiet, I'm quiet, I'm quiet. You keep picking. Now I explode on your ass. I'm sorry. I've done well not cursing this year. Have y'all noticed that? I really have. Okay, let's see what she's saying. Yes, ma'am, that's me. I live in my bedroom, and that is very true. I forgot you, but I can act as if I never knew. Standing in the same area. Oh yes, that's passive aggressiveness. That's that passive aggressiveness. Have y'all ever had that somebody do you like that? That you're right there, they can act like you don't even exist. I do suppress my anger. I think I gave y'all stories on one. I did that. I used to do that. That's how I know that's that Taurus, that sun Taurus that I know that she exhibits, because I had that trait, and I'm trying so hard in where I am now in my life not to do it. And it's been so hard for me, but I've been trying to change this behavior this time. Y'all have no idea. So I know what she feels and what she goes through when someone pushes me and pushes me and pushes me, and I don't want to talk to you ever again. I just don't want to talk to you. I know what she feels when she feels that. Y'all don't understand. It is so internal in our spirit. You have to hear me when I'm saying this. It's within us. Okay? It is hard for us to speak, when you put us in that space. And that's the ism I have to fight through. Miss Deborah, is that where you are too, where you just don't want to talk? But it's not good. And I know that you experience it with your body. I know you feel it in your body because that aspect is tight. You have no wiggle room. You are feeling the fullness of this behavior. Whereas if somebody had it like at the 28th degree or the 27th degree or somewhere in the 20s, they could possibly, come out of that space a lot easier. But by it being tight, oh no. All right, let me see where I'm sorry, I got to catch up with these comments. That was me growing up as I struggled with the same thing. Okay. Trying to forgive. It's not easy to change. I know. I just said that to someone this morning. See, y'all, I'm trying to tell you. So my advice to you, and this is what I'll do public, but we can talk deeper privately, okay? Because some stuff, again, I'm not going to say on here that I see, and we can talk later. But let's just deal with this piece right now as a word of advice. When you feel it in your body, right? When you feel it, because you'll feel it here, that the chest will become heavy when you're in that anger space, when you're in that space of not wanting to deal with someone anymore for hurting you. Okay? This is what I'm talking. The heaviness here is what I'm talking about. That's the part you have to get from here out to be able to start talking. That's the struggle that I have had. And that's why I'm telling you guys, I know I'll go down in history and getting the fastest divorces ever. Or wanting to get the fastest divorces ever. Because when I'm done, I'm just done. And I know that's not good. It's not good. I shouldn't just be able to just cut you off like that. This is what Miss Deborah is experiencing. Never see you again in life. Can't do that because the lessons will keep coming back. The lessons will keep coming back. And this is a lesson you have to learn. You have to communicate. You have to know how to get through those issues that you have. You have to know how to get from point A to point B, which is the place of resolve. That's your life lesson. And if you don't do it, it keeps showing back up in your life. You'll just change the faces, but it'll be the same issue. And this is what I'm saying to everybody. When you get the lesson, you graduate. Okay. And you pass it. And this is where we make the statement, I've outgrown that. Oh, listen, I'm past that in my life. I'm so happy I'm past that. That's where you start making those type of statements. But there's a new lesson before you. And this is what we call life. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Okay, I think I got that one. It's not easy to change. I know. I just said to someone this morning, okay, we said that one. Yes, ma'am. I'm right there right now. Okay. All right. That's her struggle. You have to get it this time. And this is the point that I'm telling you guys. This is why you should do readings. It's not anything demonic about this, right? This is your life. And we need each other to learn how to get over the struggle. We need each other. Let me come off this first chart now. We need each other to know how to move because we get strength from one another. And it's a blessing that we have, not just me, but there's several people that have these gifts that are mature. Because remember, I told you, we all have the gift, but some of us have matured in the gift. And some of these gifts are in our lineage. It's like some people have a gift of being a plumber. It's in their lineage. They can look at a problem and know how to fix the faucet in 10 minutes. Okay. I don't have that gift. No, I'm going to jack you up if you ask me to fix any type of plumbing. But I do have a gift of showing and teaching you about your life. I do have the gift of being able to look at those birth charts and be spot on. That's a gift. Okay. And now I have matured because I used to hide it. I used to hide this gift because I was afraid of it. And it was shunned. It was shunned in the Christian church because we were considered demonic. Okay. That I could do it with rocks or cards or a plain deck of cards. I don't care. I could do it with anything. and I can show you your life. I can look at your birth chart and I can show you. I could literally just be in a room with you and feel your energy and know what's going on. Done that too. Just like I told you, I was able to answer my mother's question outwardly that she had in her mind. And my children, they can't get away with anything. Anytime I see danger, this is the truth. My I ain't gonna tell you which child, she might get mad. But one of them, okay? One of them. She was just having a real piss poor attitude. Just a real bad attitude. And I had told her father to take her car because of her attitude. And he didn't. He allowed her to keep driving, keep doing what she was doing. And she was in a very bad car accident 2 days later. 2 days later. And I saw her behavior going into that car and that happening. And that's why I wanted the car to be taken to give her a chance to readjust her behavior. Because the environment is there that's going to play off of that energy. And sometimes it's a negative environment that we're entering that is waiting for something like that. Now, thank God no one was killed, but there were several that were injured. Okay. And the car was totaled. So I'm saying all that to say this. So very true. Thank you, Dr. Shea. Yeah, you're very spot on. I cannot wait to schedule a private meeting with you. No problem. So I'm saying all that to say this. Take advantage of it, right? Learn who you are. And if you're watching this and you don't even have the time that you were born, do understand the importance of this. How can you be fruitful in not just your life, but the life in your with your family members, the life with your partner, right? How can you be fruitful with that person, those people in that space for yourself if you don't even know who you are and you don't even have the desire to learn? It just doesn't go together. Okay? So once again, this is the only one that I'm going to do live because we got to get back to learning next week. Okay. And I need this time to be able to teach others. But if you want your birth chart read, newstatusnewlife.com. I just put it right there. It's all updated. Okay. Or you can go to the link.bio/I am Dr. Sherry and click on my birth chart blueprint and it'll open up and the information will be right there. All right, you guys, I love you all. Give a thumbs up if you enjoyed today. Woo! You were very spot on. I cannot wait to schedule a private meeting with you. No problem. No problem. I love you guys so much. Until next time, I'll see you next Tuesday when we're going to get back to learning, okay? All right. Until next time. Bye.